Hey everyone, it is December 29th, 2029, and no, December 29th, 2021. I should not be allowed near numbers. Anyway, 9 days of vlogging. Tomorrow I will be into double digits. Woohoo! I am still feeling like crap, so if you've noticed my pillow, I want to say I'm still in bed. I am in bed again, trying to get rid of this nasty bug that I have. Anyway, yesterday I made a video and was thinking about Jo van Gogh and how she took her brother-in-law Vincent's unknown and in many ways unwanted art and turned it into the sensation that we know today as Vincent van Gogh. As I was leaving the Vincent van Gogh Museum thinking about Jo van Gogh and thinking, wow, I need a Jo van Gogh on my own art. And by the time I got back to the hotel, I was thinking, maybe I just need to be my own Jo van Gogh, but I'm not sure how that is, how to go about doing that. A couple of days later, I had another light bulb moment in a very different artist's home. I was in the Rembrandt house. And Rembrandt House is laid out in some really beautiful ways. It's a gorgeous house that he moved into in 1639 at the height of his fame. And Rembrandt, unlike Van Gogh, was not a starving artist. Rembrandt was the superstar of his day. He was fabulously wealthy, very, very famous. He was all the hot stuff going on in Amsterdam. He bought this house at the height of his fame, and the layout of the house was really interesting. On the first level, where you enter the museum, are the living and sleeping quarters. And on the second floor is where he did his business. The main entrance to the house is there. And if you were coming in back in the day, you would enter into this beautiful marble salon with massive pieces of art all over the walls. Beside that was another salon, again, all marble, filled with the most beautiful art. Rembrandt sold not only his own work, he sold work from his students, he sold work from other artists. He was a business person. There's the tiniest little room beside this where he transacted all of his business, where he kept all of his records. Going up a very narrow and very spirally staircase, on the second floor up is the biggest room in the house. Massive, big, bright windows letting in gorgeous sunlight, certainly on the day we were there. This is where he created his great masterpieces. One floor further up was his school. Didn't realize this, but Rembrandt was also a teacher. 3 working floors. As I was sitting in the school, in the room where he taught, I had this little epiphany that I'm not sure is that little. Not only was Rembrandt one of the greatest artists of our history, he was also a really, really smart and insightful person. These 3 elements that he needed to do to create the life that he wanted, business, creation, and teaching, were geographically and physically separated. Light bulbs went off. I try to do it all at once, and it gets muddy and it gets unclear. Rembrandt somehow figured out that he needed to focus. Main floor, business. Second floor, creating the art. Third floor, teaching. Now, we have very little information, or at least I have not been able to find any. If you have any, please let me know. I'm always curious about this stuff. We don't know if there was any sort of blending between the two. I cannot imagine that he wouldn't on occasion or even regularly bring affluent clients or prospective clients through the studio. Let's have a look at what I'm working on now. We do have some evidence to suggest that students came down to the studio and acted as his assistants. There's certainly ample evidence that he was working with assistants. It is most likely, in fact, even probable in my mind, that those were students, advanced students that he was working with. But this separation of the 3 jobs, I am a business person, I am a painter, I am a teacher, and those 3 things, that shift of energy required just to get up and go up the flight of stairs or come down the flight of stairs. The first person I ever knew who worked out of their home was my friend Carol. And Carol was also one of the first people I knew who really knew how to operate a computer. And Carol, after several weeks or months of working at home and finding that it really, really was not working for her, found that she needed a little ritual in order to maintain both a good work environment and a good living environment that were, in essence, in the same room. It was a very small apartment. She'd get up in the morning, she would get ready for work, she would leave her home, go out, get coffee, and then she would come back to work. Now, she would do that in the same space she had just left, but she had shifted her energy. She was not at home anymore, she was at work. At the end of the day, she would do exactly the same thing in reverse. She would shut down her computer, she would get up, she would leave work, run an errand or two, and then come back home. That shift. I am at home. I am at work. These are light bulbs for me, and this is something I am not good at that I need to get better at. I need to shift. I spend so much of my working life as a teacher, and I don't regret that. I love teaching. But I carry it into my writing, and the energy needs to be different. I carry myself as an artist into my work when I try and promote my work, and that doesn't serve either. I need to be clear as Rembrandt. What role am I in today? We are all multifaceted people. We all are. We play many roles over the course of the day. Over the course of a day, I am dad and teacher and writer and commuter and purchaser and all sorts of things. We have all these roles that we do. I think Rembrandt knew what he was doing. Clearly, he knew what he was doing. Shift that energy. What role am I in now? Focus on it. Do it well. And then when it's time to move on, shift the energy, get up and move, go to the other location, go to the other space, move in the other energy. Clear division. It was powerful. It worked for Rembrandt. Little side note, it didn't work for Rembrandt forever. His life did fall apart. I mean, he had some real tragedy. His wife passed away. Several of his children died in infancy. And he overexpended. He ended up losing the house and dying quite poverty-stricken. It was really quite sad at the end. It's a little more detailed than that, but long story short, while he was a success, clear division. I think I've got some homework to do. Figure out what the roles that I have and how I can shift those energies. Have an amazing day, everyone. Live the bigger life, whatever that is, and I will see you tomorrow for double digits, day number 10 tomorrow. If you're interested, I will link the Jo van Gogh article down in the comments.